guys, Nandini here with a brand new video for Craftread. Today I'm going to show you an upscaled project with some mixed media elements and of course the brand new 3D decoupage sheets by Craftread. So let's get started. Let's start with the base first. This is an old tile which is part of a frame, and I'm going to cover this with gesso and then do my 3D decoupage on it. I'm just taking out a little bit on the side. This is rather thick. So this is what our panel looks like. It's a nice cute looking cake. And these are all the other pieces which I have already fussy cut. So these are the 3 layers of the cake. There are flowers. Now what we are going to do is we will start by shaping all these pieces. I'm going to keep this little basket handy because I don't want to lose any of the pieces. I'll just put everything back inside and then I'll take one at a time and start shaping. So let's start with this. This is the smallest layer of the cake, the topmost layer, and I have my ball tool and a mouse pad here, and I'm just going to now what you need to remember is now I want the piece to curve like this, so I have to apply the pressure perpendicular to where I want the paper to curl. Also make sure that you don't apply too much pressure because if you do that, the paper might tear. Now this area I want it to be even more rounded, so I'll just apply a little more pressure there so that the flower pops out a little more. And here I will apply reverse pressure so that it just gets pressed in a little bit. I'll repeat the same steps here. So a little more rounding at the flowers. There, now our cake layers are ready. Now I'll start with the flowers. These berries are really tiny, so just have to be a little careful with them. Just make sure you don't press the paper too much, otherwise you might just tear it. So just apply the pressure gradually till you're happy with the look that you're getting. You can also add a little more shaping while you're finally assembling the pieces. So there, our shaping is done. Let's move on. Okay, now my gesso is dry. I haven't taken much care to make it very smooth because I'm planning to put several layers on this. So I just basically needed a neutral surface. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to cut some of the paper around this thing because I don't want all this pink and all this pattern in my design. I'm not really fussy cutting this because I'll be putting more layers on this and that will hide the extra paper. I'll just basically cut around it a little bit. The One thing which I want to do is I want to change the position of this flowers. So what I'm going to do is just carefully cut it away from the cake. With these sheets you can do that actually. If there are areas which you don't like or you don't want there, you can just cut it out and then use it. So now I've cut this apart and I've cut this flower apart. So now we can continue. Let's start with the tile now. You will notice I've drawn a faint line around my tile. This is the line which marks the space where the frame is actually going to come. This is the frame which I'm going to put over the tile. So I don't want anything to go over this line because that will end up pressing into the frame. So now first thing I'm going to do is take my base layer of the cake and I will just use some decoupage medium to stick it. I'm using decoupage medium because I want to seal this thoroughly. And I'll just let this dry. I'm going to take some desert dust chalk paint by Craftreet. I just take out a little bit here. Normally whenever you're mixing shades, just make sure that you mix enough because getting the exact shade every time is almost impossible. I'm also going to put a little bit of pink. Now once I mix the colors, I realized that this color is not a pure pink. It had a little bit of darkness in it, like a purplish hue. So what I did was I took the chocolate chip chalk paint by Craftreet and I put just the littlest bit in it. Remember, whenever you're mixing any dark colors, add the color very gradually because it's very easy for the color to darken too much. And then you'll just end up mixing more paint in it to lighten it, and that is just a big waste, I feel. You can just I have this scrap of paper which I had left over from cutting it out the sides of the paper, and you can see I will just test this paint and it is an exact match. So let's put away our paints now. Always remember, keep your bottles tightly closed whenever you're using chalk paints or any kind of paints because you don't want your paints to be drying out. If you keep them properly closed, they will last a long time without drying out on you. So I just add a little bit of water. I'm really impressed with the quality of the Craftreet chalk paints. They're very, very creamy. Now what I'm going to do is just start applying it so that the edges are covered. You need to do it more towards where the background is showing. In these areas which I've trimmed pretty close, there is no need because the cake is actually standing out from the background, so to speak. But these areas you do need to just mask them a little bit. Don't worry too much if you get a little bit of the paint on the cake because ultimately we are going to build layers on this, so those portions will anyways get covered. You can also do this with a sponge if you wish. Now I'll allow this to dry completely before I move on to the next step. Okay, so now that our first layer is dry, we'll continue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this stencil which is a part of the geometric stencils pack, and I'm going to do some stenciling. I want a lighter shade of this paint which we had mixed, so I'll add some more colors to this. With the chocolate chip, I'm I need just a little dab of it in this, but I'm going to take out a little extra here because I also want to create sort of to ground this cake. Now with the stencil, I'm just going to place it on my, I'm going to just use the brush to basically apply the paint through the stencil. I'm going to avoid the areas where the cake is because I don't want to get too much color on it. If you're not comfortable doing this directly, you can always mask it with some masking tape or some masking fluid. Now, these last two, I want to use a darker shade there. So I'll just wash my brush. I always have a rag handy to wipe the excess water from my brush. You have to be very careful here because it's a much darker color. So it will show up much more on your cake. And let's carefully remove our stencil. And just fill up these areas because I don't really want the lines there. Okay, now let this dry. Now if you see, this is the sort of the ground. This is what gives a three-dimensional effect to the cake. Our paint is dry now, so now let's continue. I have this beautiful chipboard called Trellis within the trellis, and I want to put it on the sides of the cake. So what I'm going to do is just place it first, and then I'm just going to roughly mark the shape which I want it to be in. The rest of the pieces I will use it for some other project. Luckily, chipboard can be very easily cut with your scissor. So just start snipping this away. There. This remaining piece I'll save and I'll use it on another project. I'm also going to use some copper paint to color this because I want it to be in that brown family. While a chipboard is drying, I'm applying the base coat of two-step crackle medium because I want a little bit of texture on the bottom part of my tile. Now I'll let the crackle base and the chipboard to dry completely before I move on to the next step. Okay, now our chipboard is dry. It has a lovely coppery look to it, and so is our base coat of the decoupage, the crackle medium. I'm going to put the second coat for the crackle medium on top. With crackle medium, the direction in which you apply the second coat as well as the thickness of the layer that you apply determines how the cracks will appear. So I'm just going to put it lightly, just basically spreading the base around. Okay, now while the second coat of the crackle medium is drying, I have some archival ink here, and I'm just going to distress the edges a little bit so that they are slightly darker. This is a shade of red which I have, and the reason why I'm using StazOn is because it is waterproof. Otherwise, if I use any of my regular distress oxides or distress inks or dye inks, I will have to cover it with a coat of varnish to make it permanent, since those inks are water soluble. But Stazon is basically meant for mixed media, and they can be safely used. Once they are dry, they become permanent. So I have a small brush and I'm just brushing only the edges a little bit. You can see the surface is turning slightly pink. Now the whole thing is looking a little too pink, so I'm just going to bring in one more color, and what I have here is the Memento Lux. It's a nautical blue, a dark blue color, which is again a mixed media ink. Just put on a little more red on it to balance it out, because I think it's looking a little too purplish. And there. Now I'll just leave this to dry, and then we'll come back and do the rest of the work. Okay, now our crackle medium is almost dry, but it needs a little more time. I think I must have put it a little thick in this area, so I'll just leave that alone. And what I'm going to do now is take this piece of chipboard which we had already colored with a copper paint, and I'll just stick it over my cake. I'll just use a regular multi-purpose glue, and what I'm going to do is put tiny dots of the glue, because I don't want it to show too much. Especially taking care to put glue at the ends, the loose ends, because those are the areas which are most likely to come out. Chipboard sticks pretty easily. You just need a good strong glue for that, and there are several which are available in the market. So I'll carefully turn this over now, and I have my pencil line to guide me. I'll align it at the top first, and then just shape it slightly, and then my chipboard is in place. If later on, if you feel there are any sections which are a little loose, which need to be stuck down, you can just take a toothpick and add some glue underneath, and then just you can see the lovely shine that the copper paint is giving. Now let's leave this to dry completely, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, now our top coat of the crackle medium is completely dry. So now I'm going to take some metallic wax in antique gold, and I'm just going to lightly rub it here. As I start rubbing it, you can see the cracks showing up. Just gradually work the wax inside so that it penetrates into the cracks. I didn't want a very cracked surface because I wanted a very subtle effect. But depending on the thickness of the paint of the top coat and the direction in which you apply it, you can get really beautiful effects with crackling. It gives a lot of texture to your end product. So now my wax, I've worked it in. Now what I'm going to do is take a damp cloth. Just I have this old t-shirt lying around. I'll just spray some water on it, and then I'll gently start rubbing here. The wax which is there on the surface gets removed by the damp towel or the damp cloth. So this also has a nice sheen which matches with the copper sheen on the chipboard that we've put. Now our background is almost ready. Only that thing that is left now is to assemble our 3D decoupage. Okay, now our base is ready, and now what we are going to do is start with the layering of the 3D decoupage. Now this is our first layer. Now you'll notice there is some white area here which is really tiny. You can either cut it with a craft knife, or what I'm going to do is a little trick. I will simply take some distress ink in a similar green shade, and very lightly just put some ink there. This will not hide the white areas completely, but I'll also put it on the leaves so that wherever there are a little few white areas left, these get masked. They will not show up as a very stark white color. And once your whole thing is put together, you will hardly notice that there was anything done. Now I'm going to turn this over and start applying my double-sided tape. The key to doing a successful 3D decoupage is putting a lot of tape and shaping your pieces correctly. You can also use silicone glue if you want. If you don't want to use so much double-sided tape, even that works. Just make sure that you place it such that no tape shows through once you've put your layer on. Now areas like this, I put very tiny pieces of the tape. I'll also shape this slightly with my hands. There, that's our first layer done. For the second layer, I felt it's become a little flat, so I have my mouse pad and my ball tool, and I'm just going to shape it up a little bit again. There. You can see the layers now. Now we are going to put the little flowers and the leaves. So let's start with this piece here, which goes right up. And these pieces are going to need really tiny bits of foam tape. You'll see there is a little bit of white area here. So I will take my distress ink and just lightly cover it up. Now let's continue. Now we put the basic layers of the cake. Now we have to put these little flowers. These are the two flowers which we had cut out and shaped. So then I'll just take tiny pieces of foam tape. I'm just curling up the leaves a little so that they stand out. I'll do that with these leaves also. Just remember, you can always shape some of the details later. Now this is a small leaf which I cut off, which is a part of the design on the side, and I'm just going to put it not on the cake on the side but a little further down the line. So let's just put some foam tape on that. Now this is the base, so you see it is a little cut, but that doesn't matter because this, the second flower is actually going to cover it. So just peel off the tape. I'll just place it where I want it. And there, our 3D decoupage frame is ready. Now you can add more embellishments to it if you want. There's so many things which you can do. This is a basic frame. and this is what the completed frame looks like. I hope you enjoyed this project and will give the 3D decoupage sheets by Craftread a try. Trust me, they're great fun, and I hope you will join me again for a video very soon. Bye.